Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for today, July the 20th. We are starting with Stage 1 and 50,000 HP on the HQ. And yeah, basically land your tanks where I landed them, let them eventually roam up to where I dropped my critters, and basically they will do the same thing that my critters just did, like your tanks, my critters. Moving on, Stage 2, 85,000 hit points on the HQ. There is a shock launcher back there with 7,000 hit points on it, but we don't care about that. We care about the itty-bitty tiny little cannon in front of the HQ. Because if you blow that up with your GBE, which pretty much anyone should be able to, I think it has like 5 hit points. I'm pretty sure. I had to count them on one hand, and it worked, as you can see. So once you take out that cannon, you'll be able to coast right into this little area here. You outrange the shock launcher, you outrange the sniper tower, and who cares about the rocket launcher? Moving on, Stage 3, 150,000 hit points on the HQ, 7,000 on the boom cannon, some really nice boosts on the old statues there, and a nice wide open road around the right hand side. Now, I will show you kind of where to go. I realize there's a shock launcher, and I realize that shock launcher is going to have range on me up in the corner, but I kind of wanted to play with it because I watched this awesome video by Lord Carnage. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. I'm going to drop the link down in the description below. Basically teaching you how to smoke properly, how to shock properly after a smoke. And after watching his video, I was moved to double check and see how my skills is, because frankly, I've always kind of toyed with this and moved it around and screwed with it, and I was never really quite as good as I would have liked, and I feel like I am much better now that I have watched this video. I'm sure there's people out there that are like, psh, you don't have to worry about that, it's easy. Well, for people like me who started a little bit later, maybe not so easy. Or maybe I just suck, I don't know. Regardless, awesome video, and as you can see, I'm playing with my smokes and my shocks there. Moving on to Stage 4. 141,000 hit points on the HQ, 6,000 on the boom cannons, and a partridge in a pear tree. Oh wait, no, that was a different song. So, I landed left-hand side. You may have to smoke a little more of that beach to, make sure all of your tanks are safe. There is a boom cannon that has range on the beach, but not like the whole beach, only the top part, so you might be able to sneak some tanks underneath. You're gonna have to play with it. That's your dice to roll, I guess you could say. So, anyways, moving up, left-hand side, take out some of the flamethrowers and machine guns. As you can see, the flamethrowers and machine guns that I normally mock, with no medics and, enough of them, those little buggers could be dangerous. And then I realized I threw critters, and I was like, oh, phooey. Phooey. And so, fortunately, they died before they could do too much damage, and we can move back to good old-fashioned shocking. Also, I know that, I was talking about the video earlier with the smokes and the timings and the whatnots. That timing actually works out with minor adjustments with other shocks. So just throwing that out there, if you're, say, trying to perma-shock something like a very nasty cannon that's sitting in between you and the HQ, you can do that with just some minor alterations. Anyways, basically here I have a little bit of free GBE, and I decide to blow some things up in an effort to speed things up and, take this HQ down a little bit quicker, so that we can move on to Stage 5, which has 241,000 hit points, 9.6k on those freaking boom cannons. Fortunately, the boom cannons are touching. are, well, almost touching. They're close to each other. So if you throw a barrage on each one, some of the AoE will bleed over and hit the other one. So if your barrage isn't high enough level to just straight up flatten those bad boys, it'll work out. Also, what you may have noticed is I only bothered landing one boat of tanks for this level because even though it extends the length of the video a little bit, I can do it, and I wanted to make sure that I could do it, you know, like, put myself up to the test. I figure if I'm gonna start learning how to smoke and shock properly, I should know how to tank properly. I don't know, tank and shock? Tank and smoke? Smoky tanks? Smoky tanks. I need more GBE statues. Anyways, moving up the right-hand side, pretty straightforward. Throw down some shocks. Hopefully you'll be able to clear through a little bit quicker than my tanks, which are, let's say, not the fastest. Yeah? Also, if you've got some free GBE, toss it at those sniper towers that are just on the opposite side of the HQ to basically where you are, well, where your tanks will be. You know, where my tanks are roughly-ish right now-ish, sort of, as they go forth, and boom-ish. The reason I say to blow up the sniper towers is they will have range on your tanks in the safe spot, whereas right now, basically, you flare up, you sit here, and your tank's the only thing that can hit you is a rocket launcher, and who cares about rocket launchers when you've got medics? So, well, okay, unless there's a lot of rocket launchers. So, oh, alright, hi. Sorry, I'm being brought presents. So, Mega Cat strikes again. That's alright. She's ready for the Mega Turtle. She's gonna, you know, rub on it. And moving on to stage 6. 389,000 hit points on the HQ. 31,000 on the boom cannon, 36,000 on the shock launcher, 116% building boost. My goodness. Now the good news is you can completely ignore the stupid boom cannon on the beach and just ride right up the right-hand side. And with your GBE, because you haven't had to blow anything up, you could toss that on the little cluster of sniper towers there. I threw a few barrages at first just to sort of soften things up a little bit, see kind of where we're at, and then finished off a couple of towers with artilleries because, well, I'm trying to, you know, spread the GBE usage amongst the different abilities so that nothing's capping too crazy high. Fortunately, things don't get that scary, so it's doable. And as long as you hug the top end, you're safe. That boom cannon is not going to reach you, and you are going to finish off that HQ. Now, stage 7 is a different beast altogether. 400k on that bad boy, and a whole bunch of hit points on everything, 122% boost, and as you can see, I loaded up the warriors because I was just having no part in this tanks. The tanks got stomped twice. Not once, twice. So, in come the warriors, and I start off by completely flubbing the entire landing. I love warriors. You can screw everything up, and they still win. Go warriors. Alright, so obviously follow this path. It will drop your warriors around the HQ. I threw a heal, and then I threw a shock on the cluster of rocket launchers because they will fry the one side, and then I threw another shock on the mortar flamethrower and right in that area. And then I realized, holy shit, I have a ton of GBE, I don't even know what to do with this, and I kind of panicked because I really did not think it would play out that way. So I just extended the shock and took the win. Anyways, hopefully this has been helpful, hopefully it's been entertaining, and most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. See you again tomorrow.